Are you confident you're getting the most out of your retirement accounts, or do you wonder if there might be opportunities you're missing without even realizing it? Many people we work with are doing a lot of right things. They're saving consistently, they're contributing to their 401k, they're thinking ahead, and that's a great place to be. But even for disciplined savers, retirement accounts can be surprisingly complex. Contribution limits change, tax rules evolve, new options get added, and small decisions about where and how you contribute can make a meaningful difference over time. That's what today's video is all about. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to maximize retirement account contributions in a way that's intentional, tax aware, and aligned with your broader financial plan. We'll talk about how to prioritize which accounts to fund first, how to make the most of employer-sponsored benefits, why tax strategy plays a critical role in contribution decisions, and some common mistakes that even good savers can make. By the end, you should have a clear framework for deciding where your next retirement dollar should go. Let's get into it. When people hear maximize retirement contributions, they often think it simply means put in as much as the IRS allows. And sometimes that's exactly right. But more often, maximizing contributions is about optimizing your cash flow, your taxes, and your flexibility over time. Because here's the reality, most households cannot simply max out every available retirement account all at once. You're juggling mortgage payments, kids' expenses, student loans, travel, and enjoying your life today. So maximizing doesn't mean starving your present self to overfeed your future self. It means making smart, intentional decisions with the dollars you have available to save. That's why we always start with a priority order. Not all retirement dollars are created equal. If you have access to an employer-sponsored retirement plan like a 401k, 403b, or similar plan, the very first step is simple. Get the full employer match. This is the closest thing you'll ever get to a guaranteed return on investing. If your employer says, we'll match 50% of the first 6% you contribute, and you're only contributing 3%, you're leaving money on the table. That's part of your compensation. And I want to be very clear here. This has nothing to do with market conditions, fund selection, or interest rates. If you don't capture the full match, you are voluntarily taking a pay cut. So step one is always contribute enough to your workplace plan to get every dollar of matching money available. Once that box is checked, then we move on. Now, we need to talk about the main retirement account buckets, because maximizing contributions depends heavily on understanding how these accounts work. Broadly speaking, you're dealing with three main categories: tax-deferred accounts like traditional 401ks and traditional IRAs, tax-free accounts like Roth IRAs and Roth 401ks, and tax-advantaged supplemental accounts like health savings accounts. Each one has a different role. Traditional contributions give you a tax break today. You defer taxes now and pay them later. Roth contributions do the opposite. You pay taxes today, but future withdrawals can be tax-free. Neither is better in a vacuum. The right answer depends on your current tax rate, your expected future tax rate, and how much control you want over taxes in retirement. Which brings us to a very common mistake. One of the biggest issues we see is people defaulting into all traditional retirement contributions simply because that's what payroll set up. They like the idea of lowering their taxable income today. And again, sometimes that's perfectly appropriate. But here's the risk. If all of your retirement savings are tax deferred, then every dollar you pull out in retirement is taxable. That limits your flexibility. It can push you into higher tax brackets later. It can increase Medicare premiums. It can reduce how much control you have over your income in retirement. Maximizing contributions isn't just about how much you save, it's about where you save it. For many households, especially those in their peak earning years, a blended approach works well. Some traditional contributions for tax efficiency today, some Roth contributions for tax diversification later. The goal is optionality. You want multiple levers to pull in retirement. This is the part of the conversation where things often get oversimplified, so I want to slow this down and be very clear. You will often hear advice that says, after the employer match, fund a Roth IRA next. Sometimes that's excellent advice. sometimes it's the wrong move. The key is understanding when Roth contributions should come before fully maximizing a workplace plan and when they shouldn't. Let's start with when Roth often makes sense early. Roth contributions tend to be most attractive when your current tax rate is relatively low compared to what you expect later. That might include early career professionals, households in temporarily lower income years, families with significant future earning potential, and people planning for early retirement with long tax runways. Those who value flexibility and tax diversification. And in these cases, paying taxes today at a lower rate in exchange for tax-free income later can be a very smart trade-off. Now, let's talk about higher income households because this is where nuance really matters. If you are in a high marginal tax bracket today, the default assumption is often, I should prioritize traditional contributions to reduce my taxes now. And many times that's absolutely correct. For higher income earners, fully or mostly traditional 401k contributions often make sense when your current marginal tax rate is meaningfully higher than your projected retirement rate. You expect a large drop in earned income in retirement. You already have substantial Roth or after-tax assets. You need the current tax deduction to improve cash flow, where you plan to use charitable strategies later to offset taxable income. Now, in those situations, maximizing the traditional 401k can be very effective. However, and this is the critical caveat, higher income does not automatically mean Roth should be ignored. Even high earners can benefit from Roth contributions when required minimum distributions are likely to push future taxable income higher. You expect significant taxable Social Security benefits. You plan to retire early and control income intentionally. You want flexibility to manage Medicare premiums. You want tax-free dollars available for large future expenses, or you simply want better tax diversification. This is why, for many higher income households, the right answer is not all traditional or all Roth. It's a coordinated strategy. That might look like traditional contributions up to a certain level to capture deductions, Roth 401k or Roth IRA contributions for diversification, backdoor Roth strategies when available, and ongoing adjustments as income and tax laws change. So when you hear advice about prioritizing Roth contributions before fully maximizing a workplace plan, understand what that really means. It doesn't mean Roth is always better. It means Roth should be considered intentionally, not as an afterthought, once every other option is exhausted. Maximizing retirement contributions is not about following a generic checklist. It's about making informed decisions based on your tax rate today, your likely tax rate tomorrow, and the flexibility you want in retirement. And that's where real financial planning replaces rules of thumb. After the Roth IRA decision has been made, we usually turn back to the workplace plan. For many people, increasing 401k contributions beyond the match is the next logical step, especially if you're in a higher tax bracket today. You need to reduce current taxable income. You have limited savings capacity, but here's the key. Maximizing out a 401k only makes sense if it doesn't crowd out other important goals. Emergency savings, short-term cash needs, lifestyle balance. I see people aggressively maxing out retirement accounts while carrying high-interest debt or living paycheck to paycheck. That's not maximizing, that's misallocating. If you have access to a health savings account, this deserves special attention. An HSA is the only account that offers tax-deductible contributions, tax-deferred growth, and tax-free withdrawals for qualified medical expenses. That's the triple tax advantage. Used strategically, an HSA can function as a supplemental retirement account. You pay medical expenses out of pocket today, you let the HSA grow invested over time. You reimburse yourself later in retirement, tax-free. For households that can cash flow medical costs, maximizing HSA contributions can be a huge win. This is often overlooked. Let's talk about reality for a moment. The biggest reason people don't maximize retirement contributions isn't lack of discipline, it's lack of margin. If you're constantly reacting to expenses, it's very hard to save intentionally. That's why maximizing contributions almost always starts with cash flow planning. You can't optimize what you don't control. Small systematic increases matter. Annual contribution increases tied to raises, automated savings, Lifestyle inflation awareness. Maximizing doesn't happen overnight, it happens gradually, intentionally, and sustainably. Let me quickly highlight a few mistakes we see over and over again. 1. Trying to max out accounts without understanding tax impact. 2. Ignoring Roth options entirely. Next, overfunding retirement while underfunding liquidity. Assuming limits never change or never apply to you. Failing to coordinate contributions at the household level. Your spouse's accounts matter. Your combined tax picture matters. Your long-term goals matter. Retirement planning is not a solo sport. So how do you actually maximize retirement contributions? Here's a simple framework. First, capture the full employer match. Second, prioritize tax diversification, not just tax deferral. Third, use Roth IRAs strategically when eligible. Fourth, leverage HSAs if available. Fifth, increase contributions gradually as cash flow improves. Maximizing isn't about perfection, it's about progress, intention, and alignment with your bigger financial picture. Let's wrap this up. Maximizing retirement account contributions is not about hitting some arbitrary IRS limit to feel accomplished. It's about making smart decisions with each dollar you save, understanding which accounts to use, understanding the tax trade-offs, and understanding how today's decisions shape tomorrow's flexibility. If you do this well, you don't just save more, you gain control. And that's what real financial planning is all about. I'm Josh Duncan, partner at F5 Financial Planning. If you would like to learn more about how we help our clients achieve financial freedom for personal significance, please visit our website at www.f5fp.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.